In the last video, we saw veteran hunter Han Taejun arriving in Kenya to check the situation on an unprecedented problem. Turns out, Sejun's warning came true sooner than he expected, and the giant locusts have invaded Kenya even though they are just green in color. The tough-blade green onions are keeping their population down, but despite that, Taejun is really worried. Back on the 77th floor, Sejun finishes restoring all the banana trees, while the monkeys dig up irrigation canals. Soon, Theo and Kwang return with their treasure, which turns out to be a rare gemstone called Lesser Gemstones of Mastery that can increase skill proficiency. Sejun immediately uses them to level up his skills and then decides to go back home to the 99th floor when the banana trees suddenly start producing fruits. At the same time, on the 91st floor, Gonoba meets up with fellow master mages and tells them that he killed Iona. They are delighted to hear it, because they wanted to get rid of her for a long time. Then, Gonoba declares himself the new president of the Mage Association, and no one dares to oppose him. However, as their dinner comes, and they see Iona eating berries inside the plate covers, everyone is shell-shocked. Everyone is stunned to see Iona in front of them, and the rhino is the first one to react. He asks her how she is here, but she just chuckles as she eats the red berries. She turns to Gonoba and says that he has been using some cute little tricks lately. Gonoba freaks out on hearing that, like he saw a ghost, but after taking a second to calm down, he decides to double down on his strategy. He pulls out his wand from his robe and orders his friends to kill Iona, but she is not even bothered. The other mages hesitate for a bit because they don't want to pick a fight with Iona, but then they realize that they outnumber her, and that gives them an actual chance to win. The rhino pulls out his staff as well, while the raccoon and the horse start using magic with their bare hands. The four of them prepare to attack her at the same time, but Iona is ready for that, and faster than them. She chants a simple spell, asking the power of gravity to heed her call, and uses it to unleash a powerful spell called Gravity Control. That spell pushes all four schemers on the table, and they can't get up no matter how much they struggle. Iona then asks them if they really wanted her position so badly. She claims that she is more than happy to hand it over to them, and that includes both her positions as the master of the Gravity Tower as well as the head of the Mage Association. She then menacingly asks them if they are ready for what comes along with her title, because they might have to endure nightmares every single night once they get in her shoes. The rhino curses Gonoba for failing to kill Iona. While he calls him an incompetent fool, the horse tries to switch sides mid-game, telling Iona that Gonoba played them and turned them against her. However, Iona is in no mood to let them continue their appeals because it doesn't even matter to her. She repeats that she will happily give away her position to them just like they want it, but in exchange, they must do something for her. Iona starts using a strange magic spell that releases a red mist in the air and then tells the cunning mages that they will have to face the ancient demon king sealed inside her to get her position. That is some Naruto-level twist. Everyone is taken aback on hearing that Iona has sealed an ancient demon king inside her body, and the raccoon thinks that is the reason for her incredible strength. Iona tells him that she made this choice to protect the Black Tower, and as the president of the Magic Association, it was her duty to make that choice. She tells Gonoba that she has absolutely no issue if he wants to become the new president of the Magic Association, and instead, she would be glad if he could do that. Because once she is no longer responsible for the ancient demon, she can rest after carrying the burden for so long. Suddenly, the red mist reaches the noses of the mages, and its flowery scent lulls them to sleep. Meanwhile, Iona laughs like a mad genius as she tells everyone to give the Demon King her regards when they see him. Soon, complete darkness spreads over the four conspirators, and when they open their eyes, they find themselves in a slightly less dark place. They ask each other where they are, but the only thing they can say for sure is that all of them are in it together. They look around nervously, trying to figure out their current position when the rhino realizes that they are inside Iona's inner world, where the Demon King is supposed to be sealed. The horse realizes it too, and he thinks that they are screwed now. Suddenly, a menacing roar echoes through the darkness, and the raccoon is terrified and taken aback because he could see its source. The roar is coming from a bizarre creature that seems to be made of mud and decaying flesh. The monster keeps coming towards them, but Gonoba uses a spell called Sinister Bolt to immediately destroy it. He scoffs, saying that this was just garbage, and the raccoon starts clapping for him, saying that this is just what they expect from Lord Gonoba, and the hyena gets happy to hear this. However, the raccoon takes a second to realize that they are in this mess because Gonoba failed to kill a hamster. The raccoon wastes no time in yelling at Gonoba and calling him a failure, and even the horse agrees, saying that he was confident that he had killed Iona. Gonoba yells at them to shut up, but then a deep growling voice hits their ears. The voice is confused because it was expecting Iona, and the people here are quite different. Everyone is startled on hearing that voice, and the raccoon suggests that this is the Demon King speaking. Well, Gonoba decides to step up to the occasion and tells the Demon King that Iona is not here and he is going to become the new master of the Demon King. He declares that he is far stronger than Iona, so the Demon King should just give its power to him. Well, the rhino is impressed that Gonoba has the guts to bluff against an ancient Demon King, even though he knows that he might not be able to defeat it. However, the Demon King starts laughing on hearing that Gonoba wants to become his new master. His laughter echoes around them, and then the Demon King calls Gonoba an arrogant fool. He reveals that Iona is not his master, and at the same time the creepy mud monsters begin rising out of the ground. The Demon King then introduces itself as Nightmare, and says that in exchange for sealing him inside her body, Iona agreed to play with him in this eternal nightmare. He says that she is no more than a toy to him, and the mages are horrified as they see the mud monsters surrounding them. Nightmare tells them that now that they are here, they will take Iona's place and play with him forever. The mud monsters start attacking them, and the mages scream as they fight back, realizing that they are being overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Gonoba starts panicking on realizing that Iona has been enduring this eternal nightmare every single time she sleeps, and he can only beg for help in the face of enemies she fights daily. Back in the real world, Gonoba talks in his sleep, asking the Demon King to spare him, while Iona is busy munching on the berries cutely. She laughs as she says that being the strongest mage of the Black Tower is not an easy task. At the same time, on the 77th floor, Seijun reaches the waypoint that is deep inside the gorilla territory. He is glad that he found the waypoint, but he also feels bad for the gorillas because he is leaving after creating a massive scene. Gorin immediately tells him that it is all right because he is the one who caused the drought on this floor and ruined everything. Even the Monkey King is there, and he is throwing shade openly at the gorilla chief, asking how dare he call himself the boss of the 77th floor when he is so careless and destructive. Gorin can't say anything to that, so he says that at least his daughter learned her lesson from this event. Garina is also quite silent and sad when suddenly Quang walks up to them. He bows to the gorilla chief and his daughter and apologizes for hitting them and knocking them out with one hit. He then calls Garina his big sis and tells her that she is strong and always does her best, so someone who loves her just the way she is will definitely come. He tells her that waiting for that special person is exciting, like a treasure hunt. Garina gets emotional on hearing such nice words, and she starts ruffling Quang's head. Seijun watches his bear son turning enemies into friends, and even Theo is impressed at how sweet the bear cub can be. Maybe it's because he eats so much honey. Anyway, Seijun touches the waypoint, and it gets saved on his system. The system then loads the waypoint data from other floors and finds that he has only saved one other waypoint, which is the 99th floor. Seijun is excited that saving the waypoint worked, but his good news is going to be doubled in a minute. The tower system tells him that he is the first ever person in the history of the tower who achieved the feat of traveling downwards. For that, he has been awarded the title Retrograde. And as a result of this new stat, all of Seijun's stats are increased by 22. Seijun is dumbfounded as he feels his body becoming stronger, but then he does some simple math and realizes that his stats increased by the number of floors he climbed down. While he is busy wondering and marveling about it, Theo tells him to hurry up and go back to the 99th floor because this place is too hot. Kueng is also packing his bag, and Sejun decides it is time to get moving. With that, he takes his entire entourage and bids the residents of the 77th floor goodbye, saying that he will meet them again. The gorillas and the monkeys wave at him and ask him to come again soon, and then Sejun enters the waypoint. Back on Earth, the Kenya Hunter Association President Ngugi is showing Taejin videos from different parts of Africa. He says that the damage caused by the green locusts is being reported across Nigeria and Cameroon. They have identified a food distribution center at the Lagos port as the primary source of the infestation, and Ngugi says that complete quarantine measures have been applied. However, he doesn't think that it is enough, and Taejun agrees with him. He says that yellow spots have already started to appear on the locusts, which means their evolution is close. Ngugi is curious if Taejun just said that the locusts were about to evolve, and he affirms. He explains that as their numbers grow, the locusts evolve, changing their color and becoming stronger. He says that a green locust is nothing else but a giant grasshopper. However, once they reach the stage of yellow locusts, they turn into monsters that are so strong that an ordinary adult will struggle to kill one of them. Ngugi is terrified of this news, and Taejun tells him to focus on increasing the area under the tough-blade green onions for now, and build a defensive line all around Nigeria and Cameroon as soon as possible. Ngugi obliges and says that he will deploy his people immediately, but Taejun thinks that since the locusts are here, it is already too late. At the same time, a giant cargo ship is crossing the sea with a green bushy growth on its bottom. On closer inspection, that growth is a hive of green locusts, ready to spread their terror in another part of the earth. That's all for this video. Iona decided to show Gonoba and other mages the difference between them by making them face their playmate. That will surely help them learn their lesson, like the gorillas have learned theirs. Sejun has gotten a lot stronger after the buffs from his new title, and let's see how he can contribute in saving Earth from the attack of the locusts. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to see more content like it.